What's up guys, and welcome back once again to Did Reviews. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different, something I wanted to do for a while, so I figured why not take you guys along for the ride. I'm basically going to make myself a little NAS, and when I say little, I mean really little. I'm going to be using this little beast. This is the InWin Chopin Pro. They do a Max now as well, which basically allows for bigger CPU coolers, that's the word I'm looking for. This is a great little case. I have done a review of this before, done a little tiny APU build in this, and it's just absolutely fantastic. Such a cool little case. It's going to be perfect for this kind of thing. Takes up next to no desk space whatsoever. It comes with a pre-installed 200 watt power supply, which will be more than enough for the system that I'm using. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to get this built. I'm just going to talk you through that a little bit, show you what I'm building, and then we're going to basically install some software on it to set up the NAS. I've never done it before, so I'll be kind of learning as I go. So basically, if you've never done it before, then obviously come along with me and see if you can figure it out as well. Hopefully I won't have any issues, but we'll see how it goes. But before I get into anything, I want to say a massive thank you to Integral, I believe it's Integral, for sending me out two of their V-Series 2.5-inch SSDs, 2 terabyte ones, basically to make this a possibility, because I didn't have any of these about, and they were kind enough to send me some out to feature in this video. These are the V-Series, decent price, decent performance. Obviously it's a SATA SSD, so it's going to be limited to the maximum capacity, the maximum speed of a SATA SSD, which is around 500 megabytes read-write sort of thing. So thank you to them for sending these out. These will be going in this build here, 2 of them, so I'll have 4 terabytes of NAS space. I know it's not massive for what most people would use for a NAS, but it's perfect for me for storing my videos for this kind of thing, and I may even try and store some games on it so that I can just locally remotely get them from it and use it on the various PCs I have going for testing and things like that, to make my life a little bit easier. So stick with me guys, I'll quickly show you the build, and then we'll get into basically installing the software and things like that and getting it set up. So this is basically the build I'm going with. Obviously there's not a lot to show you because it is literally a case and a motherboard. That's pretty much all we need to talk about really here. If you're not familiar with this case, this is the Chopin Pro. This is one with the 200 watt power supply in it. The one before it comes with 150 watt I believe, and then the Max, I think it sticks with the 200 but has a basically I think it's a bit thicker, so you can get I don't know if they just made that bit thicker so you can get a bigger cooler on it. Not that you need to, because it's going to be mainly for APU builds and probably builds like this, I'm not sure. So you shouldn't need anything too major. I'm just going to stick with the Intel stock cooler because it is just a 10100 under this. Yes, it is old, but it's going to be plenty to do what I need to do, and it won't get too hot in here. And also because it was already built from a previous build and I'm lazy and can't bother to take it apart and put a new one on it, but this should do the problem no issues whatsoever. So a quick talk through this. This is obviously, like I said, the 10100 10th gen Intel. It's just 4 cores, 4 threads I believe. We've got some old school Vengeance LED red, 32 gigabytes, sorry not 32 gigabytes, 16 gigabytes, 2x8 at speeds of 3000. Again, it should be plenty for this. If I need more in the future, then I'll have a look into that. This is on the ASRock B460M ITX AC, so it's got built-in Wi-Fi, which is hopefully how I'm going to be setting this up, so we'll see what happens there again. And then it has an M.2 slot, which for the operating system for the NAS, I'm going to be using my very old but very trusty and capable Samsung 970 EVO. It's just a 250 gig. All this is going to be doing is storing the operating system on here for the NAS sort of control. So I don't need anything too major. Obviously, as I said before, I've got 4 terabytes, 2 times 2 terabyte SSDs to go in it. So let's get this built and basically show you what it's all about. So this case is very, very small, and as you can imagine, being so small, it can be a little bit tricky to build in, but we'll get there in the end. There's just a screw on this side, and you can pop this top cover off. As you can see, it's completely mesh, really sort of wide pores on it, so it should breathe quite well. If I have any problems with cooling, then I will upgrade the cooler. I've got a few low profile coolers I can use in this. And then the same on the back, there's one screw. And you can take that panel off as well. Now, I think you'll agree with me, this is one of the nicest looking cases there is. Personally, anyway, that's what I think. It's such a nice looking case. Obviously, as you can see, space is at a premium in here. There's not a lot of space whatsoever. Not a lot of space in there at all. Literally enough for a motherboard and your cables, and that's about it. It does come with, let me route this first. Comes with one SATA port on it, but they are kind enough to include one of these. So we'll route that through. So we've got that in. Probably the best place is going to be there. So we'll route that through there. So we've got, so we can get basically our SATA drives installed. They include a, like I say, a splitter with this. So you can put 2 in it. It is only capable of holding 2. Whether you could cram another one in there somewhere, possibly up here, but as you can see there's 2 slots there. Whether you could cram one in at some point, I don't know, but that's and for a later video maybe. Let's quickly get these installed while I've got the bottom off, and then I can put that back on and basically go from there. I've never actually had these drive sleds out, just one screw and off they go. First of my SATA drives out. It's a long time since I've used one of these actually, but you can't go wrong with a SATA drive. No issues whatsoever. Unfortunately, these aren't toolless, so let me just find some screws. So I just pop some screws in this, get it installed. We're only going to put 2, one in each corner, just to one in alternate corners, should I say, just to hold it in place. It doesn't need much. There's no point in putting all 4 in. As I said before, I'm lazy, so it just makes sense to do it this way. So get that one in there. That clips in, so that is kind of toolless, but it does come with a included screw to tie it down. And then the same on this one, I believe. This is a slightly different sort of sled. Push that tab, out that bit comes. It's completely different. I don't know why this is so different, but hey ho. And then the second of the SATA drives. Again, massive thank you to Integral for sending these over. Really big help. It's not something I tend to have lying around. And it's something I wanted to do for a while, so it's nice for them to support this project. Hopefully I can work with them again soon. As you may have remembered, I did a video on their portable SSD, which was absolutely fantastic, their Slim Express. So if you want to go and check that out, then please do. If you're in the market for one of those, why not? That's that in there. Secure it with the last screw. And that's our drives installed. Now, looking at this, I probably should have plugged these in first. So as you can see, we've got these nicely installed. We'll try and route those cables a bit better later on. But now let's get the motherboard and obviously CPU and everything attached to it into this build. Let's just organise these cables a little bit better to make my life a bit easier, hopefully. No idea where the IO shield's gone for this motherboard. It'll be somewhere, but let's not worry about that. It shouldn't be an issue. So just orientate that. Take the USB antennas, Wi-Fi antennas off first, just to make it easier to thread into position. And now we can get the motherboard in, hopefully. Like I say, it is a real squeeze to get in here. I've done it before, so I know it's possible. InWin have designed such a tiny chassis here, and obviously it comes with its problems, being so small. Not really through design, just through the form factor, really. Get that screwed down as best we can. This isn't the cheapest case either. This is, apology for nudging the camera, This is, I think I paid around about £120 for this here in the UK. It was imported from America because I don't believe you can buy it in this country. So if you're looking at buying this, you'll have to do a bit of digging to find it. I'm hoping InWin becomes more readily available here in the UK at some point, because they do some amazing stuff, and it's a shame people in this country don't get a chance to use it. I've had some great stuff from them, as you may have seen. I've done their Air Force case, their POC case, their mod free case most recently, which is absolutely amazing. I'm still using it at the moment for my main system. It probably will be getting changed soon. That's just because I have a certain idea I want for my main system, and it doesn't really tie in with that as well as I wish it did, because I do really like the case, but the way I want to do my water cooling, it won't really work with it unless I get really creative, and I don't have the time for that. Trying to get these EPS cables in, probably should have plugged them in before I put the motherboard in, but then I would have to deal with a tangle of cables. Now I need to thread these through. Where did I put this through? I need to try and get these cables through here, which is going to be very, very difficult. As you can see, it's quite difficult getting cables through here. I've got a nice right angled one here, which has given me massive issues. I don't know if I'm going to get it through. I might have to swap the cable around so but then the right angle won't fit in there. What I'm going to do is take that out and find a different cable, but we'll route this one for now. Let's get everything else plugged in. HD audio, don't need that really, so we'll keep that out of the way for now. 24 pin ATX power, again massive squeeze down here. This may all come apart again because I may have to switch this over for my APU setup, just because I'm going to be trying to do this without a GPU. I've heard it's possible, but how easy it is I don't know, so I may end up, for ease of use, let me just find the front panel. Where are you? One thing they do give you, which is nice, they give you a front panel connector that you don't have to put all the little bits in. You can just bang this straight in, which is really handy on a case like this when you've got limited space. You don't want to be messing around with single pin connectors. So that's it. That's it built, as you can see, all crammed in. Makes this really heavy in the end. All crammed in there, should go on nicely. Like I said, I've just got that last SATA to route, which I'll try very shortly. And then we'll come on back up top and we'll talk about the software, get that installed, and then we'll see if it works. Right, so we've got the NAS set up. You've seen what it looks like. I'm just going to take you now through a few of the settings that I've set up. I've already set it up completely, basically ready to go, but I just want to take you through a few bits so you can see how well it performs, basically, in terms of transfer speeds over to the NAS from this PC at the moment. I've only got it network mapped to this one PC at the moment. I've got it plugged into my router downstairs, so the PC's not actually here now. It's downstairs, plugged into a switch into the router. So I can access it wirelessly as well. Now, I was originally going to do it through just a wired network switch here, but I was having such issues setting it up. It just wouldn't sort itself out. I couldn't get the IP addresses to work properly. No idea. I'm not very good at this kind of stuff, but we've got it set up on the network now. So let's basically take you through the settings I've got on here so you can see sort of the ports I've set up and things like that. And then I'll show you the transfer speeds. And then obviously you can decide whether this is something you'd like to do. Right, as you can see, this is the true NAS interface. Some of you may have already seen this, but if not, this is basically the web interface you use. Once you've got it set up, it just runs automatically, and then you connect to it using the network address, so the IP address, and basically tells you all about your system you've got on this main page. So you can see we've got 16 gig of, or 15.3 gig of memory, and then we're using the 5600G as the CPU. Mainly reason I did this is just so I can access it easily and see what's going off, because it's got an iGPU and it obviously can be in that small case. I was going to use That's one thing I didn't mention. I've changed the system now. It was the 10100. I was using 10100F I was trying to use, but trying to set that up aside and not have it connected and not be able to see what's going off in the first instance was really difficult. So I've changed it up for 5600G. Everything else is pretty much the same RAM. It's just obviously a different motherboard. So we've got 5600G in there. So you can see what we've got going off here. As you can see, we've got our pools here. So you can see what I've set up. I've got an available space of 1.76 terabyte on data 1. And there should be a data 2 here somewhere if I can find it. I don't know where that's... Oh, sorry, data 2 is down here. So you can see got 1.76 terabyte available on that. That's two 2 terabyte drives, again provided to me by Integral. Thank you to them for sending this. You can see my interface here is going over Ethernet, over the IP address, and you can see basically all the details of that. So as I've got these set up, these are single. They're not in any sort of RAID. I know this isn't basically a good idea when using a NAS, but I want full access of the whole data set rather than mirroring them. And basically, I'm risking losing data if one of these goes down, but it's not a big deal. Basically, all I'm going to have stored on it is probably some games. I'm going to test that at some point on accessing games from a NAS, and also I'm going to store my sort of these videos that I'm doing now. I'm going to store these on here, so because I've got two PCs. One's my editing PC, and this one's my main gaming PC. But it's nice to have access to the files on both systems in case there's anything I need to do, and I'm on one system at a certain time, and I want to just quickly do it. I can get the stuff on there. So that's it basically. There's not really much to show you. If you need guides on how to set this up, there's loads of them on YouTube. I'll link some in the description below if you want to see those, so you can see what to do. But if you do it via a normal router and network, it's really, really easy. But if you're trying to do it direct to your PC, for some reason I could not get it to work. So that's that there. So all we'll do now is we'll go onto my desktop, and you can see here, hopefully you can see here, I've got two basically network drives. Right, so we'll just go into my personal storage on here, and we'll find something relatively big to send over. We've got all these files here. Timeline 1, I think this is a video I actually edited on this PC, so I've actually got the full video. Let's have a look at that. So that's only 576 megabyte, but we'll copy that over and we'll see just how well that performs and how quick it is. So paste that, and hopefully you can see there, we're running about 40 megabytes per second. Obviously it's not lightning speeds, I am coming over a network, but 40 megabytes per second is quite good, to be fair. And obviously we're using SATA SSD, so that is going to slow us down a little bit maybe, but as you can see, absolutely brilliant, done an absolute great job. And I'm really, really happy with that, to be honest with you. Done a very, very good job. Next thing we're going to do is basically check out how well it works for like installing games from Steam. So settings, first of all we need to add a library folder. Let me remember how you do that. Storage. So go into storage and we'll add a drive, and then we should, yeah, we can see our network drives here. So if we just add drive Y, you see we've got 1.8 terabytes free. We'll hit that, we'll hit add, and now we should have a Steam folder in data Y. Obviously, so you can see there's no games on this at all. So we've got that added there, and then let's just install a game. I've obviously already got games installed on here, but I'll install something else just to see how well it performs. Is there anything? Let's install Outlast. We'll install that. 5.87 gig, relatively big. As you can see now, we've got access to that, and we can install that on the network drive. And let's just see how well. Did he doubt it, by the way? If you want to add me on Steam, feel free to come and say hello. I don't game that often, unfortunately, but there we go. As you can see, I've got a gigabit internet connection, but obviously we're now downloading and saving this to our network connection, and we'll see just how well it goes. We're downloading 18 megabytes per second currently, which isn't too bad. I've got a gigabit, but I normally only get about 700 megabits. I need to actually sort that out, but I normally get around over 40 megabytes per second. So as you can see, we are limited down a little bit because we're installing our network drive. So we're kind of coming to here and then going back across the network onto that. But as you can see, it's still decent, it's still doable. Personally, it's probably better to download your games directly to your local PC and then transfer them over via network and move them. And I assume that would be a bit quicker. As you can see, before we was transferring at like 40, 50 megabytes per second on just a file transfer, so that'd probably be quicker to do it that way, to be fair. But as you can see, we can still download straight to it if we need to, not an issue whatsoever. And then we can have obviously remote access to that game and play it over there. How well that will work, I don't know, but I will probably do a follow-up video to this to show you that. But that's it, guys. As you can see, it works really, really well. Really tiny NAS. I'm really happy with it. So let's go back up the top and have a little chat. So there we have it. That's my first NAS ever made. I've never done it before. I wanted to do a really small one because I want to have it compact and out of the way. I've got using the InWin Chopin Pro. They do a max now version, a bigger version. Obviously you can only store 2 SSDs, but that's plenty for what I need. But obviously if you need more, then you are going to have to use something different. But in terms of getting a tiny NAS, I'm really happy with this. And again, thank you to Integral for sending these over for me to use as part of this project. And I'm really, really happy with the results. So TrueNAS, absolutely fantastic. They've that software's really, really easy to use once you do it the normal way. If you try to do it direct to your PC via just an Ethernet cable from one to the other, don't ask me, I don't know. I could not get it to work. But via the network, and now obviously I've got internet access to it via the internet, which makes my life even easier. Not via the internet, sorry, via my wireless network, so I can access it wherever I want in the house. And things like that, so it's really, really easy to access, connected directly to my router. And so that's it, guys. I just wanted to take you along for this sort of ride. I wanted to build on these for a while. I already had the case, the motherboard, the CPU, the RAM, everything like that. I just needed the spare hard drives, SSDs to do it with, and like I say, luckily enough, Integral were happy to help me out and send some over. So again, thank you to them. So that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Hope to give you an insight into how sort of small you can make a NAS, and basically a nice easy way to do it. Obviously it's not cheap because you've got to buy all the motherboard and stuff and that thing first, but it is doable. So that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please don't forget to give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, please, and dislike if you didn't like it. Any comments, any tips, anything like that in the comment section below. Always happy to hear from you. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Have a great day.